everybody. Here we are in the parking lot, and as you can see, it is quite a rainy morning. Well, if you can see the rain on the windows, I see that. But into every life, a little rain must fall. But it's even worse when there's some folks out there who feel that it's their duty to trickle down on you, like they're standing on a pedestal or something. And it's something you can't let affect you. It's something you can't just, I know some folks out there, it's hard to dismiss this when it happens, but you got to let it go. One of the biggest things I've always found is when you have fake people around. Now, the reason I call some folks fake people is because they act one way in public. And then, you get into a more confidential situation and suddenly, they act like they're gods on Olympus or something. Or they completely do a 180 or a 360 or whatever on you and go full circle into another dimension. And start, doing things to irritate you, doing things to get on your nerves, or somehow making you feel lesser. Now, I've had this happen to me quite a few times in the last few years, and one of the ones I'll never forget, and I really wish I'd kept the screen grab of this, because sure enough, not even 2 seconds later, this tweet disappeared. And, oh God, this was many years ago, but this guy actually tried to tell me he was somehow better than I was because his ratio of followers that followed was better than mine. You're following my people, they're following you right now. See, look at this. These are the numbers. I'm like, and sadly, there's a lot of people out there who seem to feel this need to validate themselves or their actions through numbers on a screen. Now, we learned some of the, possibilities of this. Everyone remember that Orville episode with the like-dislike planet, as I call it? And sadly, it seems like we're never that far away from that happening. Is anyone alive out there this morning? It seems kind of quiet. Come on. That's right. I know some people are on bank holiday today. Our Labor Day weekend is until this next weekend coming. It's kind of weird how they decide that, Oh, well. But I just wanted to remind you that don't let people, make you feel inferior. One of the things I've always found out in life is when you stand up for yourself, people don't like it. Did everyone else ever notice that? It's just crazy. Yet you've got to do it. That's it. Yeah, don't want to say. I'm trying to. Yeah, don't want to sound too negative or anything, but and then they look at you like you just took a dump on their shoes, especially when it's in public. Now, one of the greatest pieces of advice I found came from Mark Twain, I believe it was. He said, never argue with a fool in public because people won't know the difference between you. So, like, my favorite ones are the ones who say, things like, well, we all got together and decided you did this for this. And I'm like, like there was a Star Chamber council vote. And I'm like, really? So you all decided that you knew what I was thinking at any given time. And I'm like, wow, it's like, who founded this grand panel? Kreskin? Well, it's like, ugh. What are you going to do next? Bend spoons with your thoughts? It's like, ugh. But sadly, yeah, we live in a world now where people are tried, convicted, and executed on the court of public opinion. Like, one of the things that's weirding me out, how everybody's still on Bearman for winging out his Happy Man, or whatever you want to call him, Bearman Jr., whatever you want to call the thing, on a closed set full of adults. Yet we got other people out there who've been accused of sexual harassment, wonder who I'm talking about, who are dancing away scot-free while they take all the other person takes all the flack in the media. And then, get ready for this, their staunch defenders come up. And I'm like, dude, this guy's got, this is kind of like how the whole Cosby thing started. First one person came forward, then another, and another, and another. And after a while, the stories start to line up, and it's like you got to wonder. But at the same time, I hate it when you can point a finger at somebody and say, they did this. Well, no, the thing is I don't think, Bearman's going to be back on Doctor Who for a long time. I'll be shocked if he shows up. I'm glad they got him in, though, before the great throwing under the bus. For at least we got him back in 13's era. And I still can't get over that, how one person is accused of sexual harassment by multiple people. They've got their story straight, timeline, everything else, yet somebody else did something in a private area that they already apologized for, and probably don't know if we've ever done it again, but you have your, of course, the naysayers, and it's like, now they're canceled. It just amazes me still, this whole cancel culture thing going on right now. I was talking to the wife last night just to give you an example about cancel culture and how, certain things happen. And like, as we all know, all the Star Trek stuff moved over to not from Netflix, they moved it over to Paramount. But they used to have Star Trek The Next Generation on Netflix. Now, apparently, Netflix is going to air A Clockwork Orange, which is highly controversial film. And I won't go into any detail on what's in that, okay? But, highly violent in more ways than one. And I can't help but think, are they going to edit that? And now, the reason I brought up the Star Trek The Next Generation thing is because I noticed pieces, and there's one in particular that's sticking in my brain. Because I was like, did I Mandela affect myself? And I had to go back and try to find this clip. Because they were editing things out of Star Trek The Next Generation. I can't remember if it was I think it was Time Zero Part 2. And I mainly watched that one for laugh value. Because it was the worst ender they ever had, series ender slash, the ender was really intense, but then they went to the beginning of the next season, and oh boy, did they drop the ball in Time Zero Part 2. The one where somehow Data's, how many century-old head now can suddenly work, yet they couldn't pull any data off it, but they can smack it onto Data's body, and it works. But there was a scene with Mark Twain in there on the bridge of the Enterprise, and he said something he felt might have been taken the wrong way to a young black female officer. And she says, no, there's no reason to explain yourself and all that. We've grown beyond this, and gives this nice speech, fully understanding that this man's from a different century. That whole scene was erased. It was taken out on the Netflix version. Because it might have been, and the only thing I can figure is, it might have been too controversial. So that's why I'm kind of wondering if they're going to edit the hell out of Clockwork Orange when it goes to Netflix, because I've caught Netflix doing this. But, okay, yeah, but wait, before I go, remember this. One of the greatest lines I ever read was a quote by Robin Williams. Every person you ever meet is fighting a battle that you know nothing about. And that's one of the philosophies I've tried to adapt, is to try this, give people some slack, but at the same time, don't let people walk all over you. All right, well, folks, I got to get going. It's that time in the morning, so please take care of yourselves and each other. Be kind, be calm, be safe. And we'll see you all in the future, hopefully. So take care, everybody, and enjoy your day.